Where were we? Okay. Who is coming to explain in 2 minutes recap what you have learned from communication and how many topics we have covered? Nobody is coming. Anyways, we have we came to know about barriers, hurdles in communication, and now we'll talk about mode of communication. And today I'll finish all topics and then we'll send PDF to make notes and all of of communication. So today we'll learn about mode of communication. There are two types of mode: formal communication and informal communication. Can you hear me, guys?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So there are two mode of communication: what? Formal communication and informal communication. In formal communication, the communication in which information flows through proper and predefined solution is referred to as formal communication. It follows a radical chain that is generally established by the organization itself. Formal means what? Understand in one word: formal means office, corporate sector, right? And informal means private, means we are talking in informal way. But this time we are talking in formal way. Formal means discipline and informal means casual. So mode of communication, there are types of communication. Formal communication, one, vertical. In this type of formal communication, information exchange takes place at different organization level. Means vertical means different organization level. You have to exchange your what? Information. Either the communication take place from superior authority to subordinate or vice versa. Superior authority means higher to lower. In vertical communication, higher to lower. Understand in one word: vertical is higher to lower. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And it is also classified into two types. Bottom up communication flows is from subordinate to superior authority, and top down communication flows is from superior authority to subordinate. Means there are two subtitle in vertical communication. It is also classified into two types. What? Bottom up communication flows is from subordinate to superior authority. Means bottom up. What means of bottom? What is bottom?
Down, ma'am.
Down.
Bottom, down, low level, ma'am.
Lower level.
Mm.
So in two types, bottom up means lower to higher. Suppose you are a boss in your office and your subordinate is lower than you. So he will give information to you, that is bottom up. And top down communication flows is from superior authority to subordinate. Means you are a boss, you are giving message to your subordinate or your lower employees. That is top down. Now we'll talk about second point: literal or horizontal. This type of communication takes place between two employees of the same level but working in different department. Means literal or horizontal department is, there are two level. Means you are finance, you are in finance and I'm in HR, but our level is equal, right? Our level is equal. This type of communication take place between two employees of the same level. We are manager. I am from HR, you are from finance department, but working in different department. So different department, but employees level is designation is same. That is literal or horizontal communication, right? For example, communication that take place between the sales manager and human resource manager. I've told you sales manager. I have told you about finance and HR. And an example is from sales manager and human resource manager, and both are manager but from different department. That is literal or horizontal communication. Now diagonal or crosswise. What diagonal or crosswise? This type of communication take place between employees of different department working at different level. Understood? Means diagonal or crosswise department, they are from different department or from different level. This type of communication take place between employees of different department. Different department means what? Working at different level. Same, I am from HR department, you are from finance department, and our level is also different from each other. That is diagonal and crosswise communication. Are you getting my point?
Yes, ma'am.
For example, communication between salesman and manufacturing manager. I'm a salesman and you are a manufacturing manager, and we are different from each other. Our designation is different from each other. Our department is different from each other. Now here we are talking about informal communication. Informal communication is multidimensional. It flows freely in the organization without any restraint of predefined channel or routes. It is comparatively very quick and relational. Informal means suppose your friend and you are working in same department and in a same company, right? So do you uh, do you be in formal way all time? No, because your friend is there, na? She's also working in same department. So what will you do? Sometimes you will be formal and sometimes you will be informal. Employees are also friends, like, so you will sometimes you will be informal, right? In organizations, it is often called the grapevine. It is also important for the growth of company because employees can discuss work related issue more openly, which ultimately save the company's time and money. Suppose you got a very big project from another company and you don't know about the project, you don't know how to complete this project. So what will you do? You will discuss with your departmental friends, your employees. So in discussion you will get the conclusion of the project. Understood? So it is also important that you should be sometimes informal in company, in office and all. So it will help to grab the knowledge. It will help to save the time and money from the company. It will help to take much knowledge about the company and project and all. Getting my point?
Most of the time, graph when please explain, ma'am.
Sorry,
Graph when please explain, ma'am.
I cannot hear you.
In informal communication, graph when please explain, ma'am.
Grapevine. Okay. What is
Yes,
means of
ma'am.
grapevine? You don't know, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
You know about grapes.
Yes, fruits.
Hmm. So
Mm.
grapes bale means what?
Uh,
Stems.
mm.
So
Um,
grapevine means
ah,
like grapevine, like bunch of grapes. Company employee should be like that in to discuss some difficult topic, right?
okay, ma'am. Okay. Okay,
You
ma'am.
should be sometimes employees should be like grapevine to discuss and to take conclusion, to get conclusion from the topic, you know.
Okay, ma'am.
Got my point?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you,
Okay.
ma'am.
Most welcome. Now, mode of communication. In informal communication, types of informal communication are there. What? First, single stand chain. Listen very carefully. Single stand chain, the communication in which one person tells something to another, who again says something to another person, and the process continues. Single strand chain means the communication in which one person tells something. I am telling you something to you. Who is another here? You. Who again says something to another person. I'm again saying something to you, and the process will be continued. I'm continue talking to you about something or some point or on some point. That is single strand chain. I'm talking to you and you are listening, right? Continue process will be there. Now second is cluster chain. In this type of informal communication, one person tells something to some of his friend, then they circulate that among their close friends and the process goes on. Means cluster chain means sometimes you can say backbiters, right? You know backbiters? Anybody? Anyways. Cluster chain means suppose I am saying something, I have said something to you about some personal. Wait a minute. Hello? Okay. Mhm, mhm. So, cluster chain means suppose I am saying something to you personally. I'm telling you something about my very personal topic, right? And you did, you you had spread the message to you all close friends and all. That is cluster chain. In this type of informal communication, one person tells something. I have said something to you, some of his friend means to you are my friend, then they circulate that among their close friends and the process goes on. And you said to your friends and they said to their friends, right? And process is going on, means backbiting. Sometimes we can say backbiting, right?
Yes,
Ill
ma'am.
talking. Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, now third is probability chain. In this type, one person randomly chooses some person and transfer information to them, and they also do the same later on. What is the point? Probability chain. In this type, one person randomly chooses some person and transfer information to them, and they also do the same later on. Means it's like a cluster chain. I'm saying something to you, and you are saying on that point to your friend, and they are saying on that topic to their friend, and the process is going on, right? That is randomly going on. Probability chain. Probability chain. Are you getting my point? Now we'll talk about gossip chain. What is gossip? What is means of gossip?
Unnecessary
Talk about another
talking,
person.
miss.
Yes, unnecessary talk. No need to say something about her, but you are saying something, you are talking, ill talking about her. Means gossip chain. This type of communication is very common in an organization. In Organization, suppose your coordinate, your coordinate is in front of you, and sometimes she or he denied to do that work and all, and whatever it is, suppose she is or he is, she is very beautiful than you, right? You jealous, sometimes you jealous. What will you do? And she has no minus point in her personality. What will you do? You will talk ill talk about her sometimes. Means this type of communication is very common in organization. This is very common to pull the leg of another person, right? Where a person tells something to a group of people. Means suppose in office you have a very good group, right? And your friend is there, your employees is there, she is not, you don't like her at all, you don't like him at all. And what will you do? You will discuss about him or her in your group, then they also spread it further to another. And if there is some minus point about her, they will also spread the same information to the another group. Means gossip. This is unnecessary talk about anybody and any other things, till it gets passed to everyone, till it gets passed to everyone. Everyone should know about that point, whatever you have said to the people about the particular things, about the particular person and all. That is gossip. Unnecessary talks, unnecessary points, negativity, many things are there, right? Next, mode of communication, difference between formal and informal communication. Now we'll talk about the difference between informal and formal communication. A set of commands is followed for formal communication, whereas informal communication can move freely in all directions. Means in formal communication, you have to be disciplined. You have to be in a point. You will not talk much about the particular topic, particular uh, information and particular person. In formal communication, you will have to be in disciplined way, right? And what about formal communication? In informal communication, you are free to talk, you are free to go, you are free to say anything about anybody, right? And where we use informal communication, we use informal communication at home, in friends, in family, anywhere, right? Second is formal communication is time consuming. Formal communication is time consuming, means suppose your boss has given some project to complete it in very good manner and disciplined way. What will you do? You are now doing with very disciplined way, with time, and with you have to take care about a dot also in your written communication. So that is very disciplined and very time taking. You are at home and you are with your laptop for whole night, you are completing the project. That is time taking. Formal is time taking communication, whereas it costs less time for information informal communication. Why informal communication is very less cost? Why? Because verbally you can say anything. Getting my point?
Ma'am.
Now, third point is formal communication has its scope restricted. Formal communication has scope restricted. Means boss has said to you that you have to write the letter in only 200 words. So you will not cross the limit, right? that is restricted. Within the organization, whereas informal communication has no boundary. And in that case, informal communication, you are writing in your way, right? There is no foundation of limited words, dots, and all. So informal communication is free to do anything. Fourth, a high level of secrecy is maintained for formal communication. Secrets, company secret. Suppose you are in law department, right? And in that case, you have to maintain the secrecy of what? Information about the court, about the case, about your clients, right? So that is very, very disciplined and secret. Whereas it's not guarantee for informal communication, but if you are in private sector or any other company and you are using informal communication, there is no guarantee to disclose the message. There is no guarantee to spread the message. There is no guarantee of anybody. There is no guarantee of your words, whatever you are saying to your employees or your boss, right? So formal communication is designed at the organizational level. Means what I have said, suppose you are working in law department or in a court or in a high court, Supreme Court, whenever you are doing the job, you have to be very disciplined and there is some boundary, designed boundary at the organization level. Means law is a secret things itself. So you have to be in designed way at the organization level. Whatever organization have decided to be in this boundary. Whereas informal communication occurs naturally. Informal is naturally. You are free to do anything. You are free to say anything. Documentary evidence is always available for formal communication. Documentary evidence means I have told to you about the memo, right? So suppose you are you match the atmosphere of the office and you get a memo from the boss, and that is evidence to keep with you to improve yourself for next time, right? And informal communication supporting documents available for informal communication, and there is no guarantee in informal communication. Slang words are never used in formal communication. In formal communication, slang language is not allowed to use in formal communication because office or in formal communication, you have to be in discipline, you have to be in be with short words, right? And discipline words to use in front of boss, in front of employees and all. While they can be used in formal communication, but in formal communication, they can use anything like in private sector, bankers and all, they use always slang language. They use slang words, right? Because they always frustrated like anything. So they are free to use slang language, but informal communication, you cannot use the slang language, right? So examples of formal communication are business, letters, reports, orders, etc. While example of informal communication are face-to-face communication, telephonic conversation, etc. In informal communication, they are using business letters, that is black and white. You cannot use slang language. Reports, that is black and white. Orders, this is also black and white, etc. You cannot use any slang language. But while example of informal communication, these are face-to-face communication, telephonic conversation, like bankers. They always use telephonic communication, or they can use slang language, slang words to the employee or to another company, right? Generally, documentation happens for formal communication. In formal communication or in offices, documentations are required, right? But documentation happens for informal communication is not required. 11. Formal communication has a long chain of command, where informal communication is very simple. In formal communication, in disciplined communication, there are chain command, means boss is operating you, you are operating your employee, they are operating their employee, means top to bottom, 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 and discipline will be there to maintain. But in informal communication is very simple, due to its short chain of command, it's not required. 12. The main motive of formal communication is to fulfill organizational objectives. In formal communication, in offices, they their motive is to fulfill their organizational objectives. Means, suppose I am in office, I am in corporate office, I am doing something for office, and what is the objective of their office? Their project. I have to complete the project, that is objective, in very disciplined way. But informal communication is intended to meet person interest and needs. And in business or in some private business, or anything, whatever you are want, like we are doing, like hotel industry, like uh, small dhabas and all, there is no required of objectives. They are doing freely, they are running freely their business. You got all points? Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
It's very simple to understand. I'll send you everything. Now, we'll talk about classroom communication. Communication within the classroom is important in order for students to learn objectively, and should be put in place from an early stage of learning. Classroom communication exists in three categories: verbal and non-verbal and written. Now we'll talk about classroom communication. What will do in classroom, in school time or in college time? What was there to use? Verbal, non-verbal, and written communication. Verbal communication refers to sending or receiving a message through sounds and languages. Teachers can address one student or whole classroom through verbal communication. For example, a teacher may ask a student to stand up, which is verbal communication, right? Convocation in between teachers and students is verbal communication. Non-verbal communication refers to communicating without words through body language, gestures, facial expressions, the tones and pitch of the voice, and postures. For example, if a teacher is nodding their head while a student is speaking, this can be encouraging or show that they agree with the student. Understood? More is there. Classroom communication. In
Yes,
written
ma'am.
written communication is sending or receiving information through writing. For example, teacher may arrange a writing assignment for students to test their knowledge, or present lecture slides or notes for complicated information. Means, you can say homework and teacher. Written communication. Teacher has given something to complete, and student has done in the notes book and they have completed homework and all, that is written communication in classroom. Effective communication in the classroom skills for teachers. Now we'll talk about what is communication skills for teachers in classroom. Communication is key in the classroom. This will come in examination. Communication is the key in classroom. Successful teaching is generally considered to require only 50% knowledge and to 50% communication skill. Good teacher is what? Good teacher is 50% she has or he has good command on 50% skills and 50% knowledge of the subject or their particular subject. As a result, teachers should be proficient in all four modes of communication: listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Teachers should know about listening. Teacher should be a good listener. Teacher should be a good speaker. Teacher should be a good reader, or he or she should be a very good writer also. Writer means not book author. Writer means whatever you are teaching, you should be a good commander of writing, right? And should know how to utilize this proficiency effectively in classroom environment. Good teacher is who know about how to utilize the time and effectively classroom environment, how to manage the classrooms, how to manage the environment, how to control the students and all. That is symptoms of good teacher, right? Now create a safe learning environment with supporting relationship. It has been proven that supportive relationship between students and teachers have a positive impact on class engagement. Means whatever I am teaching to you, it should be understandable. If you are understanding the point, it means I'm a good teacher, right? It should be there to make your students understand about the particular topic and particular class, right? Participation and the students' achievement. And good relationship should be also there in between class teacher and students. More teamwork. Second, teamwork and group discussion contribute to making the classroom a more comfortable environment. Means a good classroom, it's a teacher's responsibility to make a good classroom or teamwork environment. Teamwork and group discussions contribute to making the classroom a more comfortable. Means students should be more comfortable to discuss about the particular topic in front of teachers. And this is the teacher's responsibility. By working in small groups, students are able to share their ideas more easily and improve their own communication skill. Students should be comfortable to discuss about the topic, and they will become a very good what speaker. After discussing in the group, they will have a good command on communication skill. These activities also give them a good opportunity to ask you question and get feedback on their work. And this will give opportunity to students to ask the question or about the activities or feedback about the teacher or environment of that particular teacher, leading to effective communication between you, better understand of the lesson and academic benefit. And these are the responsibility of who? Teachers. Third is body language. Communication is not only verbal but also non-verbal. You should ensure that the signals you are giving out through your body language are positive, confident, and engaging. Your body language should be what? Effective, positive. Either it is verbal or non-verbal. Why positive? So that people will be engaged with you. For example, making eye contact with students when you are talking to them shows that you are being supportive and attentive. Suppose you are talking to your students, you should be in eye contact to give them confident level to learn and to make them very comfortable with you. Making eye contact is also important when you are presenting to the whole class. It motivates everyone to pay attention, which help them to learn as well as making them feel involved. Make them understand that I'm with you, right? Make them understand that I am here to help you. Make them understand that don't worry, keep learning with me. You will understand soon. Make them comfortable with you to making them feel involved with you, right? These are the teachers what? Personality. And now 4 is active. The listening component of communication should not be overlooked. Over 60% of all misunderstanding results from poor listening. Sometimes we get poor result. Why? Because we are not good listener, we are not good speaker, right? So practicing good listening in the classroom can benefit you in two ways. Firstly, you will be model for your student. If you are a good listener now, you are listening everything to your student. Firstly, you will be a model for your students, right? Who will improve their own listening skills. They are learning to listen everything from you, so you should be a good listener and thus retain lessons better. Secondly, by using active listening, you can correct misunderstanding and extend learning. By listening actively, you can correct the misunderstanding between you and your students, resulting in better education for your students. And the fifth is feedback. Feedback is also an important component of communication in the classroom. There have been many student studies focusing on feedback in recent years. It has been shown that positive feedback builds students' confidence. See, you always see the parent-teacher meeting, right? What is that? That is feedback of students about the students to their
Parents.
parents. So making them more likely to believe that they can succeed. So give positive feedback about your students to be successful, right? And help to create a supportive environment and increase academic success. Don't give any negative feedback about anybody because you will down their moral support, you will down the confidence of that student. So always be positive and give positive feedback about your students. And these are the good factors about the good teachers. 6 is sense of humor. Sense of humor should be there in your teacher. The use of humor in the classroom has been found to increase learning, self motivation, and positive relationships between students and teachers. So, sense of humor is very important, right? So that self motivation and positive relationships between students and teachers will be increased. It allows you to establish a report with your class and keep them interested in the lesson. If you have sense of humor, your students will stick with you. For example, you might tell jokes or funny anecdotes, give light-hearted personal examples, or laugh at students or jokes. However, you should ensure that you don't use negative humor. Means don't laugh at your student, don't make any jokes on your students where you demean or embarrass student, or humor that is either irrelevant to the lesson, disturbing, violent, sexual, or forced. You will lose the respect from the student. Only continue to use humor that has received a positive response from the class, such as laughing. Right? Don't laugh at any student to make or to give them bad impression about you, and that will spoil their future also. So make sure you should have sense of humor in the classroom. 7 is technical skills. Using up to date teaching aids. Teaching aids means what? Such as computer. Aids means what? The things that you are using in the classroom to teach the students.
Blackboard, chalk piece.
Everything. Aids
Yes,
means
ma'am.
computer, videos, online, offline, whatever uh, pa- uh, parts you are using to make them understand, that is aids. Online resources is another way to keep students engaged and reinforce their understanding. Online is another thing, but teaching aids is means your computer, videos, your projector, right? All are teaching aids. It can also increase the effectiveness of your communication with students with different learning style. What I'm using right now, of course, teaching aids.
It's a teaching
Ah,
aids.
I'm
online class,
online.
ma'am.
I'm
Online
online, but
class, ma'am.
I'm yes. I'm online, but I'm teaching through the teaching aids. Who many benefits more from online resources than more old-fashioned ones. Try to work some of these aids into your lessons or a regular basis. Use up-to-dated teaching skills or up-to-dated teaching aids to make them understand effectively, because that is very important for upcoming environment or for good future. Don't use old fashioned aids. Like what? Old fashioned means what? Poster, uh, writing board, right? That are old fashioned. So be clear. Teacher should be clear about what good communication and good teaching is about, understanding and being understood. For this reason, you should always be clear and unambiguous and adapt your word to your audience. Think about this while writing lesson plans. Ensure that you break complex ideas down into simple, logical part for your audience to understand. Teachers should be clear about their statement. But also, while you interact with the children after presenting the lesson, for example, you may wish to check that your teaching was clear by asking your students question or requesting summaries of the lesson in their own words. Means if you are teaching something, you should be clear that you have made them understand and they have very good command on that particular topic. Suppose I am teaching you about the communication. So I should be clear that I have given you everything and you have learned everything from the communication. So I should be clear about that point, and you should be clear that I have uh, understood everything. Am I right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
How many students are there in this class?
Only three.
Only three. I'll not repeat it again. Who is not coming, I'm not going to give them PDF. Okay, ping me personally, all of you three. Ping me personally, I'll give you personally, and don't share this PDF to anyone. Right?
Right, ma'am.
Now, mass media and society. This is very important, and question will be there from the mass media and society. So be careful. I will finish this in 10 minutes, and your class will be over today. So mass media and society. Mass communication is, I have told you about me. I'm from mass communication, journalism and mass communication. So in mass media and society, whenever you're stuck, you can ask me directly any type of question about the mass communication and mass media and society, right? So mass communication is the process of imparting and exchanging information through the mass media to large population segment. It utilizes various form of media as technology has made the dissemination of information more efficient. Primarily example of platform utilizes and examined include journalism and advertising. And this is my, I'm a commander of this topic, right? So
Yes.
journalism and mass communication is what? Journalism and mass communication is mass media. It's a huge messenger track. Mass media can be classified into several types. What? Traditional media. This is very interesting topic. What is traditional media? This is old way of communication ideas and information like Nautanki, puppet show. Have you seen puppet show?
Know about the movies I see in the movies.
Puppet show wo means Rajasthani Katputli, they do on the thread and all. Puppet show.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
Nautanki, natural natak. Some people are playing the role and all. That is Nautanki. Print media,
Like like drama, ma'am.
like drama, right? Like
Yes,
drama.
ma'am.
In modern words, like drama. And in Hindi, in typical Hindi, it's Nautanki.
Okay, ma'am.
So print media. What is print media? Print media is one of the oldest and basic form of mass communication. It includes newspaper, weeklies, magazines, monthlies, and other form of printed journals. Whatever you are getting in print basis, that is print media. Either it is book, it is newspaper, magazines, and all. That is print media. A basic understanding of the print media is essential in the study of mass communication. So now, second is electronic media. Electronic media are media that use electronic or electrico-mechanical means for the audience to access the content. Is in contrast to static media, mainly print media, which today are most often created digitally. Whatever you are getting in digitally, that is electronic media, but do not require electronic to be accessed by the end users in the printed form. You watched news every day. News is coming on TV, right? What is that? That is electronic media. And newspaper is
Print
print,
media. Print
right?
media.
So you're watching on TV, that is electronic media, and you are getting newspaper, that is print media. Now, what is social media? Social media refers to the means of interaction among people in which they create, shares, and or exchange information and ideas in virtual communities and networks. Like what? Facebook, Instagram? The offline of communication and marketing manages the main Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, and YouTube accounts and all. That is social media,
Social media.
right? Mass media and society, types of social media. There is 6 types of social media, though this can be broken down in many ways. Social networking, bookmarking, social news, media sharing, microblogging, online forum sites. Social media allows individual to keep in touch with friends and extended family. Some people will use various social media application to network and find career opportunity. And career opportunity media is what? Like LinkedIn. You can
Yes,
find a
ma'am.
good job in LinkedIn,
Yes, ma'am. Work India. It's like
right? And connecting to people is Facebook. And for
Facebook,
the entertainment platform is Instagram,
Instagram.
right? So connect with people across the globe with like maintained minded interest and share their own thoughts, personal updates, and insight online. Social media. What are the top social media sites? Facebook. You can see the million and billion. YouTube, WhatsApp, Instagram, WeChat, TikTok, Facebook, Doing, Telegram, Snapchat. And here we have completed our communication class. That's all about the communication class. So I'll share the PDF of this communication, Unit 4, communication class. So tell me, guys, have you understood everything about the communication?
Yes, ma'am.
Everything. Because I'll take test and verbal test, written test and verbal test. Anytime I can do that. But uh, anytime you can call me or ask me any question about the communication. I'm here to help you till your examination finished, right? So don't worry about communication class. I'll be there to help you. So let's finish this class and we'll meet again after some days for class test or verbal test, right?
Right.
So how was the session today?
It was long, but it will understand.
Understanding. It was long, but it's very interesting topic. Mass media and society is interesting itself. So no
Ma'am,
worry. If you have any question, any doubt, you can ask me right now or later,
ma'am,
right?
mass media is what now? That is coming a group of peoples.
Group of people, right? Mass media means what? Social media. Wait a minute, guys. Sorry, guys. Okay. You were asking about mass media and society, right?
Yes,
Mass
ma'am.
media means everything. Means your newspaper, your TV, your Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube. All are media, right? And society means we are society. We are using all these
Medias.
according to our requirement,
Environment.
right? So that is mass media and society. We are using mass media in
Okay.
our society.
Yes, ma'am.
Simple.
Understood.
Mass media and society. We are society and that is media.
Media.
Understood?
Yes, ma'am.
Anything else?
No, ma'am.
Okay. Okay, Aarti. Now come for the prayer?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Eyes closed. Sit in any comfortable position. Back neck straight. Eyes should be closed. Now we will chant Shantiman. Palm joint in front of your chest. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah. Sarve Santu Niramaya. Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu. Ma Kaschit Dukbhag Bhavet. Om Shanti 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 Om. Now rub your palms. Place them on your eyes. Open your eyes. Look at your palms. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Aarti. Take care. Have a good day, everyone.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, ma'am.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.